Hi guys, coming in. I'm Dustin. I'm a budding YouTuber and a home cook. And we've done a series so far on the periphery. I started with our pantry. I'm pointing over there as if you can see my pantry, you can't. Then I did my spices, which are in here. Sorry, Les. And then I did my refrigerator and freezer. And now today we're going to talk about staples. What do I mean by staples? Staples are kind of everyday items that you have around, that you have all the time so that you can have a diversity of food. I sort of break up staples into three components. Well, 3+1. Carbs, like rice, beans, if you want to put that. Protein, like soy curls, tofu, and other things. And vegetable, which I have in the freezer. I do things like I always have kale frozen, chopped up kale, greens, things like that I would have in my refrigerator that are generally fresh. Those are things that I keep in a rotation, and those are the things that I kind of call staples. The kind of that I put in addition to that are sauces. So hot sauces, soy sauces, things like that I'm going to use, oils and vinegars that I'm going to use to create meals really quickly. Now, because I'm not super highly prepared, I have rice cooking right now, but I don't know if it's going to be done by the time the end of the video is. Maybe I'll save that for a YouTube short. But with a few tips from me, you should be able to create items fairly quickly and fairly inexpensive. Let's be honest. This economy's been tough. It doesn't matter whether it's been from price gouging or the government. Nobody's going to fix it. The prices are always going to go up. So what you need to do is you need to be economical about how you're feeding people. Some of you, who may be some of my watchers, listeners, subscribers, might be people who have multiple kids. How in the world do you feed, a house load of 13-year-old boys? It can be quite difficult. But that's where I feel like I have something to say as a home cook, because I used to eat a lot growing up. And so, and now I understand why my dad would be complaining why everything would just, disappear from the from the cabinets in the refrigerator. So without further ado, kind of let me start talking to you about some of the staples that I have. So rice. I use basmati rice almost primarily. Do I have other kinds of rices like sushi rice and short grains rice? Yes. But basmati rice is the king of rice for a reason. I pay a little bit of a premium for it. So you could get it even less expensive if you wanted to just buy like a medium grain rice from the grocery store. I go to the Indian food store and I buy basmati because it's a long grain rice and it suits most of my needs. I can cook Mexican with it. I cook obviously Indian with it. I can cook Asian with it. If I want rice that sticks together, then I'm going to use a sticky rice or a shorter grain rice. I buy this rice in 15-pound bags. And it is very, very, very low cost for a serving. Right along with rice and those other staples, yes, I'm going to have potatoes. I have potatoes, just enough that's going to feed our family, maybe 5 pounds at a time. But again, for your family, if you can buy them in bulk and you're going to use them in time, use them. Pro tip, keep them separate from onions. Onions and potatoes cause each other to rot. As long as you keep these in a cool, dry place and you're not washing them right away, they will stay for a long time. Okay, so second thing is going to be beans. I eat plant-based. My wife and I are vegan, and at first I tried to avoid that with the channel, but it is what it is. But not only could it be a healthy lifestyle, it can also be some of the cheapest food on the planet. So the second thing I carry at all time are beans. These are 3 staples. Pinto beans. I live in Colorado. Again, we have that Mexican influence to our cooking. Pinto beans can be incredibly inexpensive. I could get these in a 50-pound bag if I wanted to, and they could last nearly indefinitely. Second one, garbanzo beans. Garbanzo beans are the workhorse. We use their juice in order to whip things up. That's what aquafaba is. It's used in Middle Eastern cuisine. It's used in Indian cuisine. It's used in Mexican cuisine. It's used in Italian cuisine. Garbanzo beans are an absolute must. You can roast them. They can be crunchy. They're amazing. Black beans. These are Leslie's favorite. I use black beans. Again, we have a strong Mexican component, but black beans aren't just limited to Mexican food dishes. They're actually also used in Asian dishes as well. Notice for the most part, I do them dry. 1 second. Two seconds. You don't want to see it. I also keep them canned occasionally. I do these in a pinch when I don't have time or I've forgotten to cook my beans in my pressure cooker. So that's an addendum to the beans. So I do have other beans. I have lima beans. I have green lentils. I have red lentils. I have a number of different kinds of beans. I think my journey to being plant-based and vegan has actually made me lean on beans. In fact, I thought about calling the channel Leaning on Beans. Let me know what you think. But it's because they're incredibly diverse. They're high in protein. They're nutritious. As long as you cook them, they freeze really well. There's just no downside. Well, there might be one downside, but we won't talk about it. At any rate, the next thing I have, sort of baking ingredients. Flour, starch, different kinds of starches. You don't have to have potato starch and corn starch. I also have tapioca starch. That's if you want to make things like really creamy and stretchy. Yeast. If you're baking, you want to have yeast. I don't just buy them in the packets. They're too expensive that way. I feel like I'm paying for the paper. And if they expire and they're not working anymore, toast them, grind them up, you have nutritional yeast. Speaking of nutritional yeast, I buy it in bulk. Notice I'm almost out of it. Most of the time, if I'm out of a staple like this at about halfway, I buy it again. But right now I have a lot of this tied up in some of the bulk seasonings that I use myself, so I don't need to buy anymore. And I have it just like this, like you guys saw in my spice cabinet. Other baking ingredients. Sugar. If you're vegan, you want to look for beet sugar or you want to look for vegan approved sugars because they actually use bone ash to clarify it. Can we just stop using animal products, please? I have baking soda and baking powder. One of the things I wanted to talk about, especially with baking soda, I don't know, we treat this like gold. We keep it around for years and then we're shocked at when it goes bad or when it expires and it stops serving its purpose. But I use this for cleaning. I use this for scrubbing. I use this in cooking. I use this to clean off my produce. When I get my produce at home, I just sprinkle a little bit of baking soda into the water. I let it sit, my vegetables sit in there because baking soda works better than vinegar or grapefruit juice and getting a lot of pesticides off of your food. So use it liberally. I don't even know if it costs $1. You can buy this and use it a lot. It has a lot of uses. So sort of in my second level, I've already showed you guys a little bit my protein. So I've got soy curls. I buy soy curls. Let's see if I can open this up a little bit. I buy soy curls in bulk. I buy them in bulk because if you buy them on Amazon and in the package, they're incredibly expensive. This is a dried food that can last nearly indefinitely. This will last me 6 months or longer, and so I buy it in bulk. I have different kinds of tofu. For every person that tells you they don't love tofu, they don't love its texture, what texture? Super firm texture, they don't like that texture. Firm texture, they don't like that texture. Soft and creamy, they don't like that texture. What texture do they not like? These all serve very different purposes. The super firm tofu, I use this because it doesn't take any effort. I freeze these and I take them out of the freezer and you can kind of see the holes that it produces in there when it starts thawing. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna soak up all that flavor, but this also can be incredibly firm. I can make this so firm that you could shave it like lunch meat. So then why use the firm tofu? Number one, I buy it at Costco. It's super inexpensive. I think they come in 6-packs. It's less than $2 a pound. You can't get protein cheaper than that. You can't get protein cheaper than that. So if you're a gym bro or you're the people that want to talk about where you get your protein, tofu is where you can get your proteins. I don't even want to get into the arguments about estrogen being in it. All that stuff is complete garbage. This tofu, I used to make creamy sauces. So how would you like to have Alfredo sauce, Caesar sauce, pasta sauce, all these super thick, creamy sauces But instead of having a bunch of like garbage fats in there, you actually have protein in there, and you can get a creamy ingredient out of it anyway, this creamy texture and mouthfeel. People, don't sleep on tofu. It is your friend. Okay, what else do I have? Yes. So in addition to those, there's different kinds of proteins that you can get as well. There's mock meats. Leslie loves the Impossible nuggets when they're on sale at Costco. I'll buy them. There are all sorts of ways, not to mention that these guys are protein as well. The beans are protein as well. So what's next? So what's next are sauces. Sauces, oils, vinegars, things like that they're gonna make. I have an entire closet for it. I didn't even do this. I've got my rice wine vinegar, distilled vinegar, balsamic vinegars. I've got sherry wine vinegars, apple cider vinegars. Some of the basis. I buy soy sauce by the gallon. Notice this isn't even a soy sauce container. I buy it in the gallon. This is one of my secrets I'm going to share with you guys. Anytime I make an Asian sauce, if they call for maple syrup or it calls for agave, I use the Thai sweet chili sauce. It's inexpensive, it's flavorful, it's incredibly good with Asian food. Oils. Avocado oil for neutral flavor. I use extra virgin olive oil. My brother and sister-in-law live in Tierney, Italy. They send me olive oil fresh during season. Amazing. The rest of the time, I use avocado oil for neutral. I use toasted sesame oil like it's going out of style. It's used in all sorts of cooking, especially Asian. Hot sauces. Hot sauces are incredibly important to people like vegans because we crave that umami, and a lot of umami sometimes is tied up in those spicy foods. Sometimes you feel like you miss a little bit. This says Louisiana hot sauce. At one point it was. Now it's a bunch of mixed sauces. Don't be afraid to mix your hot sauces. Can't go without the green cap, sriracha. I have this in multiple forms. I have this in different thicknesses. Absolutely amazing. Pretty sure you can check me on this in the comments, but I'm pretty sure sriracha outsells ketchup in the United States. Or at least it did before there was a shortage. My own fermented hot sauce. At some point, I want to do a video where I do this for you guys and show you how to make this. It's a 21-day process, and I'm trying to do my videos a little bit uncut. So could be hard to show in one video. What else is a sauce? Come on. I use vanilla every day. I think I told you guys this tip already. If you were going to have a cup of coffee and make it want to cut down on sugar, put a couple drops of the Mexican vanilla in there. It'll make you feel like you have a sweet coffee. But also put this in things like scrambled tofu, or if you must do eggs. It's going to really bring out all the other savory flavors. Just a couple drops and people won't know. It'll be amazing. I already mentioned salt and pepper, right, in many different forms and a lot of my different spices. I toast this peppercorn. I sprinkle it on everything. You know what? I watch a lot of Derek Sarno, and he does spices liberally, and I've really taken into doing that myself. I'm like, why am I being so stingy about these spices? Then it's 4 years later, and I've bought these products in bulk, and I still have them. So one of the most important things I wanted to show you guys, because when it comes to cooking economically, sometimes I'm using rice or products with flour to sort of fill my belly. I get that they're empty calories, but they can be warming, and they can be filling. So what do I do to make sure that I'm getting my nutrients if I'm not always doing my greens and I'm not always doing these things? This is where you definitely want to load up on the things that you need. If I'm missing any nutrients, then I have a multivitamin that I take every day, and then I have an omega-3, like this is a vegan source of omega-3 that I take every day. Yes, I have ground flaxseed. Yes, I use that as well, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the nutrients that I have. Now, don't tell anybody, but I only take one of these a day when it recommends two. Why do they always recommend two? Just so I can buy it twice as often? This is where you're going to spend some money. If the world went to heck in a handbasket, make sure you have multivitamins on hand, make sure you have those omegas on hand, and then you can live on things like rice with soy sauce and toasted sesame oil and sriracha. So I wanted to make sure today that you guys saw a little bit of what I do as staples. I wanted to keep it down because, Leslie told me my last video was too long, because I could talk about staples all day. As long as you have these items in your pantry, you can make food pretty quickly and at a moment's notice, and healthy and delicious without spending tons of money. Buy bulk where you can buy bulk and spend your storage, your precious, precious storage that way, right? Make sure that you have beans on, keep pressing the flour, keep touching the flour. Make sure that you have beans on hand. So as long as you have your carb, your protein, and your vegetables, you're gonna be good to go. In the next video, it might be time to make you guys something. What do you think? I appreciate you guys being here today. Remember, I'm going through this journey, so if I have ums and buts and twist my words, just know that I'm learning this as well. I want to be able to laugh at myself in about 6 months from these, but I just appreciate you guys being here. And believe me, we are going to make stuff, but I wanted to start on the periphery. I wanted to start on the outside. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you later.